What if I told you that your child might be learning more from short-form videos than from their school textbooks? Sounds absurd, right? But take a step back. What's really happening when a teen spends hours swiping through clips and yet somehow remembers bite-sized facts, clever hacks, or even complex concepts better than they do from their math class? This isn't a defense of social media. It's a deeper look into how learning has changed, how schools haven't, and what this gap means for the future of education. Let's begin with how short-form video platforms actually work, because that's the key. These platforms are built on algorithms that adapt to user behavior in real time. Every like, pause, or swipe teaches the algorithm what to show next. That means every viewer gets an ultra-personalized feed of micro-content that's exactly their style, interest, and difficulty level. Now imagine that in a classroom. Short-form content is brief, 15 to 60 seconds. That's not a bug, that's a feature. It forces creators to simplify, dramatize, and visualize information in ways that grab attention fast. It's like being exposed to hundreds of micro TED Talks, except each one is tuned to your brain's preferences. Studies on memory retention show that we remember information better when it's emotional, visual, and immediately relevant. Short-form content nails all three. You don't just learn what the mitochondria does, you see a dance about it. You don't just hear a quote from Nietzsche, you watch someone apply it to heartbreak. It's contextual, it's embodied, and most importantly, it's on demand. Contrast this with school. The average classroom is built for efficiency, not personalization. 30 students, one teacher, one textbook, one pace. It's the opposite of a personalized algorithmic system. Worse, most schools still rely on passive learning. The teacher talks, students listen. The format hasn't fundamentally changed since the 19th century. Let's be honest, schools teach content as if Google doesn't exist. Memorization is still king. But when students can find an answer in seconds, what matters isn't just recall, it's interpretation, synthesis, creativity. And here's the irony. Short-form content often teaches many of these 21st century skills: storytelling, media literacy, editing, emotional intelligence, implicitly. Meanwhile, schools are still debating whether to allow phones in class. So when a student zones out during a 45-minute lecture, then goes home and binge learns philosophy, science, or history through video creators, it's not because they're lazy, it's because the system is outdated. But hold on, short-form video platforms aren't ideal classrooms, they're businesses. Their goal isn't to educate, it's to engage. And that difference matters. The same algorithm that delivers interesting facts can also feed disinformation, reinforce biases, or prioritize shock over substance. Critical thinking doesn't automatically come with consumption. In fact, the more entertaining something is, the less we may question its truth. There's also a deeper risk. Learning becomes fragmented. One video about psychology, one about space, one about skincare. Great for curiosity, but poor for depth. Real understanding requires sustained focus, not just dopamine hits. Plus, not all kids know how to distinguish credible sources. Short-form content may flatten the authority of information, where a teenager's opinion is presented with the same aesthetic weight as a scientist's research. A study by the University of Chicago found that nearly half of health-related videos on these platforms contained inaccurate or misleading information. And according to a 2024 survey, only 39% of American teens have received any form of media literacy education, despite 94% of them saying they want it in schools. So while short-form content can spark interest, it can't yet build robust, structured knowledge. That's still where schools come in. Here's a thought experiment. What if we redesign school with the same principles that make short-form content addictive, but grounded in ethics, equity, and deep learning? Imagine an algorithmically personalized curriculum. Students move at their own pace. They learn through visual storytelling. Feedback is instant. Lessons are short, engaging, and emotionally resonant. Teachers act more like curators and coaches than one-way lecturers. This isn't science fiction. Platforms like Khan Academy, Duolingo, and even educational creators on YouTube are already experimenting with this. And some educators are even incorporating short-form video as a complementary tool, helping students build understanding through both structure and spontaneity. But to do this right, schools need to equip students with one crucial skill: media literacy. In an age of algorithms, students must learn not just what to think, but how to question what they see. Who made this video? Why does it feel so convincing? The point isn't to make school into a social media app, it's to recognize what makes those platforms work. relevance, personalization, autonomy, emotion. When students feel seen and engaged, they learn. Education systems should stop resisting these shifts and start adapting them intentionally. If short-form platforms can hold a student's attention for 2 hours a day, schools should ask, what are we doing wrong? Because maybe the real danger isn't that students are learning from short-form videos. It's that school isn't giving them anything better. So the next time you see a teenager glued to their phone, don't just assume they're wasting time. They might be learning, just not the way we're used to. Short-form content is not the future of education, but it is a wake-up call, a reminder that attention is the new currency of learning, and whoever understands how to earn it wins. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks short-form is just for dancing. And let us know in the comments, what's the most surprising thing you learned from a short-form video?